Hi guys, just looking at the Meccano MeccaSpider. I want to see if I can get some connectors to match these connectors. So I've been looking at some of the old electronic circuit boards that I've got here, and I think that connector there has the right thickness pins and the right spacing. I mean, it's in a block of 5, and I want that and that to be plugged into it, so that should be all right. I'll cut this out, and I could desolder it, but I think I'll just cut it out because it might be handy to have it in a little block. I'll need to cut the plastic off the edge here, but I think those will slide in. In fact, if I cut the plastic off now, I can find out. Well, they sort of fit. They're a little bit looser than I'd want them to be, which is a shame. I'm surprised. I would have thought those pins were big enough. And I could just push them out a little bit so they're a interference fit in there, and that'll hold them in place. But yeah, I'm surprised. Those pins are even thicker. I suppose I could make them out of little copper wire, make some pins to fit in there. What we're looking at here is an adapter I'm making. That was my first attempt. I've adjusted the dimensions a tiny bit for my second attempt. The idea is that we can put the the right and left motors into here. I'll use this copper wire as the pins to go through, so we can have both motors connected there for convenience. No particular reason for having them next to each other. And then on the other side, I will wire away to a couple of radio control ESCs, so we can make this radio controlled. Right, we'll just wire this up. So these are bits of solid copper out of power cable. I say solid as opposed to stranded. I've got them pulled out because we don't want to overheat the PLA or it'll all melt. I just want to heat up the end and solder on one of these. Or to be more exact, 2 of them. And we'll put a bit of heat shrink over them to protect them. This wire is a little bit thinner than I would like to use, so it may overheat depending on how much current the the motors draw. I don't know which way I want the positive and negative. The idea of those gaps there is I'm going to put hot glue in there to seal them in place. But at the moment I won't put the hot glue in there, so if I want to reverse the positive and negative, I can just pull these out and swap them over. need to push them in first. So that's probably good enough. I could have put a bit of heat shrink over there as well to hold it all together. So that's our connector. A very quick temporary demonstration. So I've got 2 ESCs, 2 batteries, radio receiver, and we are connected up via the connector that I've just made. So if I go that way and that way, looks like it might work. I'll see if I can pop all that lot on top somewhere, and we'll actually see if we can go forwards and backwards. All right, very temporary. I've just piled it all on top there. So if I go one side, the other side, so both together. Looks like we're unbalanced for some reason. Oh, I know what that is. I'm not in sequence. Because we haven't got the sensor from the gearbox, we're not ensuring that everything is in sequence and matching. But that probably won't matter if we haven't got the weight on the back, because we don't need all that. If we get it all central, it probably won't tip up quite so much. Yeah, we're out of sequence, that's why it's rocking around so much. Well, that explains why we need the sensors on the gearbox to keep it all in sequence. Well, that'll do for now. That's just a proof of concept. I'm actually using the wrong type of controller here. I've got one side is on the steering and the other's on the throttle. So I really want a twin stick controller, but that was the first receiver I could get my hands on. Pulled it out one of my cars. Anyway, looks like it will work, although we might have to be a bit, I don't know about careful, but we have to recognise the fact that if they're not in sequence, it rocks around a lot. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us a comment so I know how I'm doing. And somewhere up here there'll be some links to related playlists. Thanks again.